can't keep enough of them in stock. We got one display in, and we sold it out the first day within about 6 or 8 hours.
I'd love to show you some of the books that are selling like crazy on Armageddon, but here at Books and Books, a little problem. There are none left.
They're walking out the door. The books are selling really, really very well. They're trying to make sense out of what's going on in the Mideast, and if they can refer to someone like Nostradamus, it seems to put things in some kind of perspective at least.
It wasn't until we got closer to January 15th to the deadline that we began to see a lot of pastors come in wanting to tell their congregations things concerning prophecy.
No doubt in my mind, being prophetic, this is a war that's going to, maybe not as it stands now, but the events of this war are going to lead to the Great Tribulation period. I don't think we have anything to worry about as far as the Armageddon coming right now, but I do believe that it's in the near future.
We just placed a reorder not too long ago with the publishers. We expect it to get even more hectic as more people find out about Nostradamus.
And many of the believers will tell you that reading the Bible is like reading tomorrow's newspaper.
It is very similar. And all that. What is supposed to happen when the war ends?
Well, there's a lot involved, but basically there will be an Antichrist who arises and saves Israel from near destruction. The world will gather around the Antichrist. I'm just paraphrasing, basically. And he will lead the world to really the end of the world, but it's not going to be the end of the world as far as there's no planet. It will be almost like the way it's described as a cleansing, and then there'll be 1,000 years of peace.
Ah, peace would be lovely. Thank you, Sandy. Dwayne?
Time now for our first look at weather with Don No. And I'll tell you, this weather, we couldn't ask for better, but it's going to get cooler.
No.
Or it's going to remain the same.
Stay cool.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about 1,000 years of cool weather here, but we're going to have...
Or there.
That's right, America. There are no single women. Men who date married women on the next Oprah.
Tomorrow at 4 o'clock here on 10. Shave up South Florida for the Carnival Miami.
And if they want to cut more, be my guest.
The governor's spending plan goes before the legislature on March 8th.
The governor wants to raise tuition by as much as 20% at state university campuses, and those plans have South Florida students furious. Eyewitness News Broward Bureau reporter Vicki Frazier was with students today when they learned the governor wants the state to take more of their money.
80% of the students who attend Broward Community College are working their way through school, using financial aid and part-time jobs to get an education. It's tough for these students to hear the governor talking about a 20% hike in tuition fees for Florida residents.
That's a lot. It will affect us greatly.
Ooh, I think he needs to learn to manage the money of the state a little bit better, because just the tuition increase. Every year we increase tuition.
Under the proposal, students at a public university like Florida Atlantic University would see their tuition jump from $1,400 to $1,880 a year. At community colleges like BCC, the jump for a Florida resident would go from $750 a year to about $840.
I don't know how I feel about that. That's a lot of money.
The Favors and classmate Oric Howard chose BCC because it was financially within reach.
It's a lot cheaper. I can afford it, and professors are more one-on-one than at a big university.
That's precisely why BCC President Will Holcomb is upset with the governor's proposal. He says it'll put more of the burden on students while taking more of the general revenue dollars away from the college.
Looking at it from the college's perspective for a minute, we not only can't give the student anything additional for the more money that they're going to be paying, we're actually going to provide less.
At first glance, tuition fees at a community college don't seem so tough, but those numbers are dependent upon a student passing a class, and they don't include book fees and other hidden costs. Put that all together, and students are already crying for help. In Fort Lauderdale, Vicki Frazier, Channel 10, Eyewitness News.
The tuition hike would raise almost $60 million for the state.
On the war front tonight, the U.S. is holding off in launching a ground war. President Bush says it'll be a while before any ground battles begin. He says the air attacks have been successful. In the meantime, Iraq fired a Scud missile at Riyadh, Saudi Arabia tonight that was destroyed by 2 Patriot missiles. And another Scud was fired at Israel but caused no damage, exploding in a deserted area. Sirens sounded again following that attack, but authorities say that was a false alarm. That Scud attack on Israel was seen in the night skies in the central part of the country. It was Iraq's 12th missile attack on Israel. People claim to have heard explosions that sounded like Patriots being fired, but for security reasons, Israeli censors are not allowing reporters to reveal exactly where the Scud hit. And tonight from Baghdad, a look inside what journalists are going through to get their stories out. Today, during Good Morning America, reporter Bill Blakemore explained how his scripts are being censored and even introduced us to the Iraqi censor standing by.
Someone standing with us at this moment. This is one of the men from the Ministry of Information we've been working with this morning, Faris Kassira, I believe. And they're always standing with us and the other journalists whenever we're doing a live report.
Blakemore says he's been allowed to talk about just about anything as long as he doesn't include strategic information.
Today in our home front salute, we honor a special young lady from Dade County. She's Captain Suzette B. Moulton from the U.S. Army. Suzette's mother writes that Suzette is a person who makes friends.
Today, music born of the Negro spiritual rocks the pews and shakes the rafters of local churches. Freedom the goal, hope the message.
He brought us from a mighty long ways. So that's why I just close my eyes and let go and let God. It feels very good. I'm one of the ones who had to ride in the back of the bus. And now my soul can look back and wonder and know how I made it over.
Make a joyful noise unto the Lord. It means to sing. As far as I'm concerned, that's a joyful noise. It means clapping of the hands and patting of the feet.
Francois Clemens is a lyric tenor with serious singing credentials. He loves Negro spirituals and formed the Harlem Spiritual Ensemble to keep the art form alive in concert.
You cannot forget, and you must not be ashamed of who you are. When I hear young people say that, it doesn't alarm me that they have feelings of dismissal of the old tradition, because that's part of establishing their identity.
The old tradition is the identity contemporary artists are seeking. Black gospel groups are backing some popular rock acts today, putting old-time religion on center stage for a generation of youth. Young people searching, just as their ancestors did, for a better way.
I will sing, oh Lord.
I've seen a tremendous change in Angela since we first met. Her whole outlook on life has drastically changed.
Before becoming involved in gospel music, Angela Doughton was involved with the wrong crowd. It landed her in jail. That's where the outreach ministry of Mount Carmel Baptist Church found her. She's been singing in the choir ever since.
It's like, to me, every song is made of my life. It seems like every song I hear, it's something different that happened with me. As I'm singing, I'm asking for forgiveness.
I feel the Spirit moves me. It makes me feel like I'm in a different place.
You can't say that the beat isn't there. Kids listen to her. You've got Christian rappers now like never before. There's a variety that covers an entire spectrum in the gospel music industry. And thank God it's finally getting the publicity that it deserves.
Anything goes that's good in God's sight. Drums, tambourines, shouting, dancing with the Holy Spirit. Just like we cheer for the Dolphins, we cheer for Jesus Christ, too.
Record executives are noticing a new interest in all kinds of gospel music. Most record companies are establishing special record labels just for those gospel performers.
Puts you in a good mood, doesn't it?
I've been in a good mood all day singing
it
song.
all along.
Wonderful.
Go ahead. On Eyewitness News at 5:30, women golfers are seeing red on the green. What is it?
Scud attacks on Israel and Saudi Arabia came as Allied airstrikes were reported to have taken out additional mobile Scud sites, and they happened literally as President Bush met with the Israeli defense minister.
It was really dramatic that during our meeting, I received a notice that there was an alarm in Israel at that very moment.
Hundreds of Allied warplanes continued to attack supply routes out of Baghdad, destroying another bridge over the Tigris River, and in video released by the British, blowing up an enemy fuel storage facility. But Allied commanders say there are many more targets to be hit, literally hundreds of concrete bunkers that must be bombed individually in order to be destroyed.
It's a major campaign to go for all the various targets. What it brings home is just how big his military machine is.
And responding to reports of large civilian casualties in the bombing, U.S. officials insisted they are trying to avoid those areas, but that it is especially difficult in the city of Basra, described as a military town.
It is astride a major naval base and port facility. The infrastructure, military infrastructure, is closely interwoven within the city of Basra itself.
Reports that tanks and other armor needed for a ground war are still arriving in the Gulf. U.S. military spokesmen say they are ready, should the order come, to launch a ground assault. In Washington, Tom Walker, Channel 10 Eyewitness News.
Also out of the Pentagon today, the list of United States service casualties in the Gulf War shows 47 people have either been killed, listed as missing in action, or taken prisoner of war. That list includes at least 12 Floridians, all of them missing in action.
If you've been to a mall lately, then you know the Gulf War has become big business. Hats, T-shirts, other items with Desert Storm logos have become very hot items.
Eyewitness News told you Kerchick's story. A cancerous lump was discovered in her breast last October, but Kerchick was turned away from several hospitals and didn't receive medical treatment until it was too late, all because she didn't have insurance. Kerchick died last Monday. Hers is not an isolated case. A lack of funding is responsible for a survival of the fittest attitude in Florida health care. Simply and unfortunately, those who have money get treatment, while those without money wander from hospital to hospital, losing their health and dignity. The system has lost direction. Fewer funds and more malpractice suits have led to the disintegration of the state's trauma network. Facilities meant to help the indigent, including a breast cancer center at Jackson Memorial Hospital, have gone unbuilt while money has been sought. Channel 10 thinks state lawmakers and residents must provide the best medicine for the health care crisis by stopping their no new taxes stance and increasing funds and reforms. The lack of both now serve as painful reminders of June Kerchick and others who have slipped through the cracks.
This has been a Channel 10 editorial. We encourage the presentation of